Paul, how are you, my friend? Welcome to another edition of the SpectrumCast. It is fantastic to have you on here. How you been?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm thrilled that we have a second time the Spectrum cast. So it means that it was really awful the first time and we need to repeat.
We got to clean it up. We got to make it look really good. Hey,
Yeah.
I think we have something pretty exciting to talk about. I think IBM has been on this path of being able to fill some of its feature gap capabilities in its portfolio by reaching out and working with its business partners. And you guys have been a fantastic business partner of IBM for a long time. But first, let's get to know who you are and who Storware is, and then let's talk a little bit about the kind of the technology capabilities you're going to use to help us. But tell us a little about Storware and yourself and the company.
Okay. So the Storware is a Polish health company. We've been working since always in a backup and recovery field. We started roughly about 2013, officially 2014. So it's between 7 and 8 years. I'm saying about the two different dates because there is unofficial when we started to writing the code, and official was 2014. So it's been a while that we've been working with the backup and recovery field, and we've been always close to the IBM Spectrum Protect portfolio. Even then there was Tivoli Storage Manager, so the TSM, and this is a path actually. Our experience and all we have, it's also the consequence of being in IBM in the past. So you need to know that I'm also an ex-IBMer, and I was responsible for the TSM market in Poland and also for Europe from a technology point of view.
Yeah, I love the backup monster. So that's a great invention you've had there, Paul. So that's great. So we're going to be talking about three products that you guys are going to be helping us bring to market, or we're going to be working with you and bringing to market. The first product is Kodo for Endpoint. The second product is Kodo for Cloud. And the third product is vProtect. But before we get going, tell us a little bit about Kodo and why you chose that name and what that means to you guys.
And actually, it was an invention from my co-founder Jan Sobieszczynski. So we've been designing and thinking, okay, we need to name the product itself. And Jan founded a name which is a Japanese name. Kodo means, there was 1,000 years ago. There was also the Kodo drummers. So they put their rhythm and they put into they beat the rhythm into the Japanese big drums. So there was a Kodo drummers. And because we started with the endpoint backup and the mobile endpoint protection. So we've been looking for the word which can translate and explain the philosophy behind the technology. So from us, the Kodo is the harmony of the data, of sharing, protecting, and exchanging the data between different devices. We started with the endpoints, but also actually we've been the first company who actually did the backup to the Spectrum Protect, but not only as an enterprise solution with the Spectrum Protect. We did the Android, iOS, and right now it's not common, but we did the development for the Windows phones. So then for us, the Kodo was the harmony between exchanging the data between different devices, protected by one platform. We had some marketing, I remember, sentence, one Kodo to protect them all, with the IBM Spectrum Protect as a major backend engine. So that was actually the story where we started the products. Before, Kodo was a ghosting, but it's a long story short. So the harmony, the way how we protect it, the way how we would like to behave with the data in a proper way, in an enterprise way, in a secure way, for all of our customers that we are providing our solutions with the IBM Spectrum Protect portfolio here.
I like that, Paul. I like all the stories behind, as technologists, right? And especially these days, we've always got to find something interesting and creative. And you guys just have a great creative team there, and that's a really cool story. So let's get into it, right? I think we're going to start with Kodo Endpoint. So why don't you take it away and show us a little bit about Kodo endpoint and what clients can use it for and how they can take advantage of it.
Okay, so a few words about the introduction. So this is all about the endpoints. So when I said the mobile workforce, I meant to also speak about the mobile devices, but they're not anymore in our portfolio. We have decided that mobility is going and the user have its own decision to go much more into the OneDrive box or the other disks. So right now, when we speak about the Kodo for endpoints, we only concentrate on the Windows-based laptops and workstations. And what I mean by that is also providing the CDP philosophy. You know exactly what I'm talking, because you had your own technology like Fastback for Workstation. So there was a kind of that quite a while. You have acquisition from the Files X. So we took the same approach. I always loved this approach when I first saw the CDP for files, then the Fastback for Workstation. So the CDP means that you actually, this is the way how you continuously protect your data. So every time you change in the data on your laptops or the remote endpoint, we just grabbing this file and sending this file straight away to the server itself, without scheduling the backups and all of the story behind. So this is a really aggressive way, a really robust way how to protect the data actually in a flight. So every time you change in, it goes straight away with the deduplication and the compression methodology. As I said before, we're using the SpectrumProtect here in a Kodo for endpoints as a major backup engine. So the Kodo for endpoint cannot exist without the SpectrumProtect. So we're taking everything what's best from the SpectrumProtect here, so the scalability and the TSM API. So when I'm saying that we have our own agent working on the Windows, and when we need to protect this kind of the machine, we always say data straight away to the SpectrumProtect. Let's explain you on a short live demo how it looks like. So the beauty in the solution, Steve, is the way how we can manage even thousands of the different endpoints, different users, based on our Kodo for endpoint portal. And also the second beauty point is that the customers, even they don't need to know that the SpectrumProtect's working behind the scenes. So we fully hidden the SpectrumProtect server to only do what we are best are to doing. So the deduplication, scalability, and maintain all of the life cycle for the data that we're grabbing from the endpoints. So right now I will just show you really fast what you see as an administrator after you log into the portal itself. So we are focusing on the users. So let's find the user like Patrick or Mr. Bednarski here. So you can see that Mr. Bednarski right now he's an LDAP user. So we have an integration with the Active Directory, and Mr. Bednarski has right now 1 or 2 devices. Let's go here. You can see the devices. There is a Windows with the version. And last time we protected his machine 25th of May and 3:16 p.m. So 11 minutes ago. Let's go to this machine. You can see that this machine is protected. There is a 446 files protected by this machine. This is a Dell machine with the Windows 10 running. You can see the files that we already protected, the users. So from here, you can really fast access as an administrator his desktop. And from here, you can just grab and restore the files as an administrator. But we designed actually the system to be much more focused on the user-centric, not even on the admin-centric. I know it's a little bit weird because everybody's saying the admin must do all of the work, but we designed the system that, okay, everybody doing in the same way. So let's look and take a little bit different approach, and let's create the user-centric restoration by allowing users to restore the data by right-click approach. And let me show you how it looks like on the end user side, not as the admin side. Now, typically, I always showing a lots of stuff what you can do as an admin, but in a Kodo endpoints, the beauty is starting when you just showing the end user approach. So right now I'm typical user, and I would like to, and I'm working on a file. Like right now we have SpectrumCast. What time is it at your time right now, my friend?
It is now 11:28.
11:28 a.m. of course. So we save this file, working on it. Then we come back to this file and we would like to, so it went 28 version 2. So in a CDP philosophy, you would like to have the opportunity to come back to each version that you save. And you can see when I'm saying the right click approach, it means that I'm, as an administrator, I'm working with the help desk, and I don't like when the end user calling me and saying, can you find some files because I overwritten or I deleted. So here you can easily educate users saying, okay, whatever you are, you just going right click on a file and you can restore the dedicated version. You can overwrite or create copy. When you create a copy, then you can have a file with the timestamp, you can open it. If you don't have a file, no worries. You can just right click on a folder and you can click restore, and the system, it will find the version and it will show you the specific timestamp that you can come back. Easy. What do you think?
I have to tell you, Paul, I think, the first thing I think of is that, I think a lot of folks think, when they think SpectrumProtect, they think complexity and that sort of thing. But it's clear you guys have taken a very difficult set of capabilities and made it very, very simple. And I agree with you. I think you take it beyond the IT administrator who's busy doing 10,000 things, and you put that recoverability in the hands of the user and let them have some of the control back. You free up some of IT's time. That helps free up some OpEx, and the user gets to instantaneously solve their problem versus kind of wait through a process. So I think it's pretty impressive.
And imagine that every time I'm taking the right click approach and click the restore and you see the version, this is the communication with the SpectrumProtect server. And this is one of the beauties that we show in during the POCs, that customers saying, no, hell, it cannot be a TSM. It's so fast. And it is it SpectrumProtect API? This is how it works. This is the most scalable platforms on the market. So there you go. This is a beauty of using the low-level integration from the on a C language integration. And it's really, really robust. So when we're saying about the scalability, we're talking about, okay, we are ready to have even the limit to the individual instance that we can apply with the SpectrumProtect is the 25K users. In most cases, when I see the competition, they have a problems after 800. So yeah, so we are ready to go here. Okay.
Great. So that was impressive. Thank you. Let's switch over to Kodo for Cloud. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to show us, and then give us a quick example of what we're going to do here.
Okay, Kodo for Cloud is all about the Microsoft 365 backup and recovery. And you know already that the 365 market is really important, and we need to also care about it. There's a few reasons why. The worst case is that most of the administrator, or still most of the businesses, they thinking if the data stays on the Azure and the Office 365 cloud, it's already secured and properly protected. But it's not, because Microsoft doesn't gives you the guarantee of accessibility to the data, but they don't give you the guarantee from the security reason, from the malware or some incidents. So in case of any data loss, in case of need to have a compliance or governance on for long-term retention, you need to use the third-party platforms like SPP that you have with the Office 365 plugin, but also there is an option to use the Kodo for Cloud. So it's all about the backup and recovery for the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Again, what do you think? Would you like to see the live demo? How it looks like?
Let's see it. I want to see how this works.
So again, it's even more easier to do everything. So from the user experience, from the admin experience, it's quite boring because after 15 minutes you don't have anything to do. you just started the backups and everything works really smoothly. So imagine that you first time log into the system. So what you need to do is to just add your Office 365 organization. You can do it manually, giving specific information, or you can go with the setup assistance, which go through all of the neat steps that you will that it will allows you to add your Office 365 organization into the Kodo. After that, like you here see, I added the Storware. You just need to go to the protection tab. Here you have a synchronization tab. It means that I will grab and take all of the information from the users. Let's take my account. Pmaczka, everybody will start to send in the emails to me. No worries, it's a public, and so I will handle with all of their ransomware attacks. Let's go to the my account. You can see that we are protecting the different kinds of the features. We starting from the mailbox, archives, calendars, contacts, or OneDrive. We're just working on the Teams. So in a Q3, the plans is for the September. We'll also introduce the Teams. This is from the user's perspective. Also, you have a sites. So all of the SharePoints also are protected by us. And the good news here is that when you will find again the users like myself, let's go here, open. When you click one of the files, you can see that there is emails like overread backup. This is you can restore it straight away to the same account or to the different accounts. Like I will take Jan Sobieszczynski here, for example, and I can restore to the specific or to the different path. The reason is why it's important to take restoration between the users is that, for example, somebody stopped working and we need to move the data between the different users. Or the other use case is that we would like to come back to the archive data like after 5 or 10 or even 20 years to see from the audit, for example, perspective, who has this email or who just sent this email. So the backup here, even from the governance point of view, it's really important. Let's try to just do the job. So after we are syncing the users, we just need to create a job. So here I will just create a job like SpectrumCast backup. I can force a full backup, but there is no need. There is an incremental forever approach. We can select the specific features, but I will do the according to the policy. Okay, let's go and select the entities. I will take, let's grab all users. Let's grab all sites. Let's schedule it. Every week, let's do the every day at 6 p.m. Save it. Let's see my scheduled backups. You can see that there is a SpectrumCast backup. It's a scheduled There is 53 users, 76 sites. I can wait till 6, but we don't have actually too much time for it. So let's do the job. Everything changed into the progress, so we need to wait just a minute to see the first result. I can do the auto refresh on the UI. I can see in a task that the task is running already. Yeah, we just started. There will be some data transfer in a second. We just started to protect the sites. We are waiting for it. So, like I said, after 15 minutes, it will start in, it will go. So I think the incremental will finalize in a few minutes. But I just want to show you how it's easy to add organization, how it's easy to set the proper policy. In the policies, you can define how many days, months, or years, and how many versions you would like to keep from your Microsoft 365 tenant. And as I said, we have it everything. We're still waiting for the Teams. Teams will be available in September this year.
Oh, I love the simplicity of the interface. I love, kind of the look and feel. I love how it's intuitive so that you can understand what's going on pretty quickly. Setup is obviously pretty easily. And, for a lot of clients, time is of the essence. So anything we can do to make things simpler. And I agree with what you said in the very beginning, right? A lot of folks don't have a clear understanding of why they necessarily need to back up the Microsoft 365 set of applications, but I think you boiled it down perfectly, right? In the event that you need to be able to recover from a specific point in time, you need to have that data. Now they might do data dispersal and your data is kind of protected and it's living on everything, but if you delete something, it's gone from the system. But if you needed to have that piece of information at a particular point in time before that person maybe left the company, right, you're going to need to have access to that information. So backup is critically important. So you take mail, which is obviously a critical business application, and then you cover all the other applications that you guys have in there. I think is pretty fantastic. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, I think the goal is also simplicity. This is what I started. So we're doing a lots of effort to make, from the UX perspective, made the hard job as easy as possible, because admins has right now too many different apps. They don't want to do a PhD and specialize here. So we're giving them a really quite robust interface and the platforms to go through all of these challenges from the Office 365.
Exactly. Okay, now let's take a look at the third one, the vProtect solution that you guys have to offer into the IBM data protection portfolio. First, again, tell us a little bit about it. Give us a quick look into the interface, and that'd be great.
Okay. I think I will try from the vProtect perspective. It's, I think there will be a good visualization here on our side. I know I'm right now a little bit lazy. Sorry for that. But I think the one graphic shows a lot. And I would like to show you the high level architecture. So on the left, you can see, so this platform, vProtect platform, is designed to cover most of the virtual workloads. So it was designed to make the virtual backup machine in a really easy way. And the beauty here and the major strength is that we have right now more than 10 different hypervisors platform supported into the vProtect. So we not only care about the VMware and a Hyper-V, but we've seen a huge growth in the different hypervisor like KVM-based and Zen-based hypervisor. So you exactly know, Steve, that there is many customers who are using the multi-hypervisor technologies, and they moved into the Nutanix, for example. They moved into the OpenStack. They move into the open source virtualization. Even from the DevOps perspective, they don't want to overpay to a VMware, for example, because they have a different workloads. But these workloads are after months or the years from the DevOps perspective going into the production. So this customer starting to have the same need from the data protection products as they had in before from the VMware and a Hyper-V. So with the agentless backup with the full plus incremental approach. So we took the advantage. We designed and started the KVM base and Zen base a few years ago, and right now we are one of on. I can easily say so. In a KVM base, there are no other competition that they have such advanced features like we have today. So I know it sounds a little realistic, but it is. On the right, you can store the data on a different type of the storages, from the file system to the different object storages, to what is most important for us today, Steve, that you can use the SpectrumProtect, and again with the TSM API. So I'm saying when I'm saying TSM API, I'm saying about the native approach integration with the both ecosystems. So the vProtect can work as an add-on, or the proxy VM or the media server, depends how our partners call this kind of the cooperation. And we can do the job for the SpectrumProtect for the other hypervisors that we couldn't do before. So please treat vProtect as a great enhancement for the existing SpectrumProtect install base or for the future projects. Not only the virtual machines, but also the storages like Nutanix files, also the containers and the cloud Amazon EC2. To also visualize and concentrate. So when I always show you the different products from my family, we always do a lots of efforts to make the UX really, impressive. And
hey, Paul, before we jump in there, can I ask you a quick question?
Go on.
You said something that was pretty interesting to me. So you're connecting vProtect directly to vProtect directly to SpectrumProtect, and you're saying I can get agentless backup sets of capabilities using Protect with these other virtual machines. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So right now,
fantastic.
the SpectrumProtect, so the SpectrumProtect with the vProtect has the ability to protect agentless more than 10 different virtual machine platforms.
That's good to know. That's cool. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's a good to clarify because it's important message here. So of course I will not go through the dashboard here, but I just want to show you that when you click the virtual machines, there are the tab called infrastructure, and here this is the beauty that you will not find in the other vendors worldwide. Believe me. So the approach is that I can have an OpenStack, Kubernetes, Oracle VM, Ovirt, Nutanix in one place. And always there are only 3 steps that you need to do. The first one is we call it inventory synchronization. So it means that just ask the hypervisor what's going on their side and give me this information. Also, we have a task console here. So where everything, when I'm clicking here and create some job, it will always appear. Here. Let me just disable all tasks. So I don't want to have any queue here. I just want to have clear scenario. Let's try to grab my Ovirt. Let's find some VMware here. The VMware and Oracle and RHV. So 3 different platforms. When you just want to add, you just need to choose what do you want to have. So from VMware to the Nutanix Kubernetes, you just need to provide the credential. And after that, you go into the instance view. Let me just find machines to visualize the look and feel. Oh, this is a really important one. Do not share with the others, because when somebody will go in a ransomware, they will go straight away to this machine. This machine is quite old, and you know what I love it, because in 2014, this is a story again, Steve. We on this old CentOS, we built the first TSM API integration. So this machine are stay with us for at least seven years and still do the job. So we compiling the code from the integration point of view here, but it's protected. So in case of any disaster, no worries, we can restore it. So just a view, just backup statistic, transfer of the backup, event calendar. We just make really easy to grab the information about some history point of view. Here you can see how backup was done. Right now, let's do the backup to the SpectrumProtect. I think this is important, and let's do this in this way. And I will choose the SpectrumProtect here. Yeah, so I would like to have that this machine will just go straight away to the SpectrumProtect. Let's go for it. What you will see two separate tasks. First task will ask, okay, just grab the machine from the hypervisor to the vProtect. After the export task, there will be the second task called store, and then vProtect will says, okay, then I will take this machine and I will send to the SpectrumProtect. And after that, the SpectrumProtect will treat it, the vProtect, as a TSM4V. So for all of the architects or technical people, technology guys who are working today with the SpectrumProtect, the vProtect is treated as a single node on the SpectrumProtect server, and each machine is treated as a separate file space. It means that we design in the same way how the development team inside the IBM designed the TSM4V. So we took this approach. We have a direct connection with the architects from the IBM, and everything works as it should be from the reporting point of view, management point of view, or life, treated the proxy as it should be. So the export task is working. Let's wait for a second. I just want to show you where to add SpectrumProtect here. We call backup destination this feature. So you go into this backup destination, you click the enterprise, and you have 4 options. For now, of course, for us, it's important to add the SpectrumProtect. And you can see that because we're using TSM API, you need to specify the configuration OPT file, which should be stayed on the same machine as the vProtect is installed. It can be virtual machine, but it also could be a physical machine. So the vProtect can stay on the same machine as the SpectrumProtect server. Only one condition, and the most important condition is important. We need to work on a RHEL or on the CentOS. We do not work on a Windows-based machines. So you need to remember that. Okie doke. And what you can see here, we just export and store the machines on my SpectrumProtect server. So in case of restoration, let me find it. It was the TSM machine. I just found it via the global search. And I can restore this machine or mount if I would like to have the individual file restoration. I can grab a specific timestamp. So let's grab the last full. Let's restore to my vCenter, to my, you can see DS335. It's quite old one, but it's from IBM. It's still working, good one. Now, let's take the power on the machine and specify the name, SpectrumCast. VM restore, and we should have the restoration jobs started to work in a sec. There we go. In case of any problems, you can drill down so you can see what's going on. You can download the log. Not more, Steve. I don't want to steal more time about the vProtect because normally I have a 5 hours workshop here, but I think we don't have enough time to go deep dive. I just want to highlight the major features here.
I'll tell you, Paul. With each one of the solutions that you showed us, it's crystal clear that your team has a high level of focus on quality, a high level focus on usability. I'm really impressed with kind of the interfaces and kind of the methodologies that have been thought through about how to do protection. I mean, you and I have been doing data protection for a long time, so we know that you know I. I think we understand that, there's a process here and things folks go through in order to be able to do proper backups. And so I think it's fantastic. And the fact that you guys can complement the IBM solution by helping us really blanket a number of different things that we don't specifically cover within Protect or Protect Plus today is a huge advantage. Because if a client has made an investment in a protection solution and they don't want to have to pull out a lot of the stuff that's working great already, and like you said, from a scale perspective, right, you can't really get better than Spectrum Protect. How do I continue to layer on top of that as these new solutions come out faster than ever before, right? And this is a great way to be able to do that. So I want to thank you for showing us each one of the demonstrations. And I think what your team has done is fantastic. So let me just ask a couple more questions. I'm sure as we begin to go to market together, who might the field be reaching out to? And I'm sure we'll probably have a contact list that we will share with everyone, but who might the field be reaching out to for additional sales support, additional technical support, maybe customer support as we get going here? Do you have some of the thoughts behind that?
Yeah, so always do not hesitate to contact us directly. So we have a global sales at Storware EU, or you can find myself. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So I'm not kind of the CTO that's trying to hide behind the technology and just talking. I'm also, like to dirt my hands with the technology and with the POC. So I have my own professional services team. But you can easily reach me through the LinkedIn, or you already seen my email through my through my Kodo for Cloud demo. So p.machka at Storware EU. So yeah, like I said, we are 50 of us, so we trying to be as flat as possible and as easy to communicate as possible. So through the social media, through the partnership formula that you can find on our website, Storware EU. We have also dedicated the Slack guest channel like you have in IBM, that if we have hand-to-hand partners that they're working with us in a daily basis activities, the communication can be even one-to-one messaging via Slack. So there are many tools, many possibilities, but definitely if you just want to start the conversation with us, just reach me in direct or just go through the formula on our website.
Well, I'll tell you, Paul, I'm really looking forward to now when our sales team comes to me and says, "Hey, we need help doing XYZ," that I can easily talk about, "Hey, have you talked to the folks at Storware, or have you looked at what we offer in conjunction with Storware, integrated right into Spectrum Protect, that can help deliver the solution that they're looking for to the client?" So let me ask you, what are you most excited about?
The most excited about that, I left IBM in 2010, and I feel a little bit like I came back after 11 years. So we started, with this PPA. So all of the partners can purchase our platform through your channel. So I'm most excited because I do still believe that Spectrum Protect is one of the best solutions on the market. And I always remember when I have dozens of the talks with the customers, why they stick with the Spectrum Protect, because of the reliability, the quality of the support. Even if we don't have all of the feature sets and we are not so blinky like the other vendors, we give in the assurance in case of data restoration. And for this assurance, the customers would like to pay, and they will pay. So we, again, are much more closer, our platforms, again, not only from the technology, but from the business perspective. So I'm really thrilled to have, again, the journey and to work even more closely with you, with your team, and with the bunch of the good business partners that they're looking for this kind of the cooperation in the integration.
Great. Thanks, Paul. And for those of you listening, I highly encourage you to check out Paul's podcast, The Backup Monster. It is fantastic. It's entertaining. It talks about data protection. He has a lot of great guests on. Their own special band, which I don't have a band, so you're much cooler than I am. Please check that out. And Paul, again, I want to thank you very, very much for being on this SpectrumCast, and I look forward to a great partnership.
Can I have a favor, Steve?
Ask away.
Actually, two. So please compile that in the end of our SpectrumCast, there will be the bare machine, let's say, clip that we barely released on the YouTube. So I will send you the material here.
You got it.
It named In Backup We Trust, and I think it's really important because it's aligned to our philosophy. But remember, I started my backup journey in IBM, so I'm still, there's a lots of common, not only interest, but common philosophy and the way how we do in a business. So in Backup We Trust, it's really important for us, and I think for you also as well. And the second favor is that you need to be on the next clip and episode. So after the COVID time, you need to go to the Poland again. We will see each other, drink some good beer, and play some music. No worries here.
Yeah, it's time to get back on the plane and get out there, right? We're all getting vaccinated, so great. Paul, I thank you very much, sir. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, folks, for watching us. Stay in touch.